Friends, please subscribe, like, and comment. This is very important to us. How to manipulate other people's fears to get what you want. Secrets of dark psychology. Have you ever wondered why some people get everything they want so easily? They are not always smarter or stronger. Often, they just know where to press. The most powerful lever of influence on a person is his fear. It is the key to his decisions, actions, and life itself. Dark psychology is not magic. It is understanding. Understanding how the mind works, how it is controlled by fears, and how to use this knowledge for your own purposes. Fear is an ancient survival mechanism. It paralyzes the will, turns off logic, makes a person grab onto the first solution that promises safety. The manipulator simply offers this saving solution, a solution that is beneficial to him. Here's how it works in practice. Step 1. Find a weak spot. Everyone has a fear. Confidence is just a mask. Your job is to tear it off. Listen carefully. What is the person avoiding? What are they keeping quiet about? What is it that bothers them? Are they afraid of loneliness? Losing money? Public condemnation? Seeming weak or stupid? For example, your colleague is terrified of making mistakes. They double-check everything and get nervous in front of their boss. This is their entry point. They are afraid of being humiliated. Step 2. Create or exacerbate the threat. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's enough to point out the shadow and convince a person that it's a monster. Use hints. Listen, if I were you, I'd be more careful. The boss is looking at our department under a magnifying glass right now. One small mistake, and that's it. The reputation is ruined. You're not lying openly. You're simply painting a possible scenario. But in your colleague's head, this scenario is already unfolding as a disaster. Their fear is your ally. He will think up the worst of it himself. Step 3. Offer the only way out. The person is scared. He is looking for salvation. And you offer it to him. The very way out that leads to your goal. You know, I could take on this difficult report myself. I will double check it. And I will tell the management that this is our joint work. The risk is on me and the credit is halved. What is happening? The colleague sees you as a savior. He will gladly agree to your terms, if only to get rid of the oppressive fear. And you will get half the credit for someone else's work. Here are more examples from life. Fear of loneliness. It is often manipulated in relationships. You are nobody without me. Who else do you need? The partner, afraid of being alone, suffers humiliation and fulfills any whim. Fear of missing out, FOMO. All marketing is built on it. Hurry up to buy. There are only 2 products left. Prices are rising. Tomorrow they will be more expensive. People buy unnecessary things just not to be late. Fear of being different. Everyone has already tried this. Are you retarded? A person commits an act in order not to fall out of the pack. Remember the 3 main tools for manipulating fear. First, the language of hints. Do not speak directly, but hint. Make a person imagine the worst. His imagination is scarier than any lie you can tell. Second, creating deadlines. Time pressure aggravates fear. Decide now, or the opportunity will pass. A person does not have time to analyze. He acts on emotions. Third, the illusion of choice. You do not order. You offer 2 options, both of which are beneficial to you. You can do this difficult work now, or do it later, but in front of an angry boss. The choice is obvious. Now, the harsh truth. Fear manipulation is a weapon. It destroys relationships. It destroys trust. You are playing with fire. Sooner or later you'll be found out, and the consequences will be serious. You will gain power, but you will lose respect. Perhaps yourself too. You need to know these techniques not for application, but for protection. Now you see the mechanism. You understand what button they're trying to push in you. If someone is trying to play on your fear, stop. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what does this person really want? Why do they scare me? Turn on logic. Break free from the emotional trap. Your fear is not your weakness. It is your point of attention. Protect it. Strength is not in controlling others. Strength is in controlling yourself over your fears. This is the only dark psychology that leads to the light. You've learned the basic algorithm, found the fear, created a threat, offered a way out. But this is just a framework. Now for the depth. Well-honed techniques that turn theory into real power. Technique number 1. Anchoring fear. Fear is fleeting. A person gets scared, but gets distracted a minute later. Your task is to anchor this fear. Tie it to something specific. How does it work? You connect his internal anxiety with an external trigger, with an anchor. Example, your friend is afraid of poverty. You say, look at how Petty lives. 2 jobs, no life, and still barely makes ends meet. It's a nightmare. Now, every time he sees Petty or thinks about him, he will feel a prick of his fear. You have anchored the abstract horror of poverty to a real person. This anchor will work without your participation. Your phrase is a button. You've installed it. Now you can press. Listen, you don't want to end up like Petty, do you? Then do it my way. The effectiveness of your proposal skyrockets. Technique number 2, legitimizing the threat. Your words are just words. They can be ignored. But if the threat is confirmed by an independent source, it becomes a truth. You don't intimidate. You analyze. You watch the news. And you say, see what's happening in the world? Experts are talking about a crisis. Look, even the famous economist X writes that it will soon be even worse. You don't make things up. You refer to real or semi-real facts. You legitimize the threat. You are not the source of fear. You are an insightful person who sees the truth and tries to help. It's subtle. It's convincing. It removes suspicions of manipulation from you. You are simply worried. You share your concerns. And you offer a solution. Technique number 3. Controlled chaos. This is a tough technique. It is used by those who want to achieve complete submission. First, you deprive the person of support. Destroy his confidence. Undermine his faith in himself, in his knowledge, in his environment. Are you sure of your decision? Remember, you made a mistake last time, and your friends are unlikely to help. They have enough of their own problems. You create information noise. You shower him with doubts. The person's world collapses. He loses his footing. He falls into a slight panic. He is disoriented. And then you appear with a simple, clear, the only correct solution. You are his life preserver in a stormy sea. He will grab it with the gratitude of a slave. He will be ready to do anything just to regain the feeling of control. And now you are in control. Technique number 4, social proof through fear. The fear of being rejected by the pack is one of the oldest. It can be played on. You don't just talk about the threat. You show that everyone already sees it and acts on it. But he doesn't. He falls behind. He risks being left behind. Everyone is already playing it safe. Everyone is doing it. Are you the only one who doesn't see what's going on? Do you want to be the loser when everyone else is the winner? You play on his need to be part of the group. You create the illusion that the group is already acting in a certain way. His instincts scream at him. Catch up. Be like everyone else. Survive. He stops thinking. He starts copying. He follows you. And most importantly, how to protect yourself. Knowing these techniques is already half the protection. You see the map. You see the traps. Here is your shield and sword. First, slow down. The manipulator presses with time. He demands an immediate solution. Your best tactic is to take a break. I need to think about it. I'll give you an answer later. A simple no, thanks, throws him off his game. You have time to turn on logic. The fear subsides. There is room to maneuver. Second, ask questions. Depersonalize the threat. Translate everything into facts. What exactly will happen? When? Who are these experts? Where exactly is everyone doing this? The manipulator operates in vague categories. Your specific questions will force him to either reveal his cards or back down. He plays in the shadows. You turn on the light. Third, trust your body. Fear is physiological. Your stomach clenches, your heart rate quickens, your palms get sweaty. Your body senses a threat before your mind realizes it. If you feel physically uncomfortable when communicating with a person, this is a red flag. Trust this feeling. End the conversation. Walk away. Power is not in controlling others through their darkness. True power is in illuminating your own darkness, understanding your fears, accepting them, and stopping being a puppet. You can use this knowledge to protect yourself. You can use it to understand yourself, to see how you are being controlled, to finally be free. This is the highest level of dark psychology, to step out of the game in which you are considered a pawn and become a player. Aware, powerful, independent. You're no longer a newbie. You know the basics. You see the framework of manipulation. Now let's dive into the details. Into that very little thing that decides everything. A manipulator is not a villain in a black cloak. He is a master of subtle hints. His strength is in the unobvious, in what cannot be proven but can be felt. This is how professionals work. Technique number 5, dose delivery of information. They never lay out everything at once. They give information in portions. First, a slight hint, then a little stronger, then a pause. Example, a manager says to a subordinate, "I've noticed something about you lately." Okay, let's not talk about it for now. He did not finish the thought, but all his mistakes were already flashing through the employee's head. He will walk around and torment himself with guesses. A day later, the manager adds, "By the way, about that conversation, I hope you understand everything yourself." He said nothing again, but the employee's fear reached its peak. And here's the finale. "Manager, I've got your back, but be careful. I'm the one who owes you." Now the employee feels obligated. He will work overtime. He won't dare ask for a raise. The manipulator got his way without a single direct accusation. Technique number 6, creating the illusion of choice. You don't force. You offer a choice, but both options lead to your goal. You can do this job until the evening today, or stay with her until Saturday. It's your choice. The point is that there is no not to do option. The person is focused on a false choice. He thinks about which option is less painful. He doesn't see that he is being held within a framework at all. It's subtle. It keeps the person in control. He made the decision himself. He chose his own destiny. And you just offer the terms. Technique number 7, using body language. Words are only 30% of communication. The rest is tone, look, posture. The manipulator may say neutral things, but his gaze will be judgmental. His posture will be closed. He may sigh while you are speaking, look away, shake his head slightly. These nonverbal signals work at the subconscious level. They cause anxiety. They make you doubt yourself. What's wrong? Why is he looking like that? Did I say something stupid? You lose confidence. You become vulnerable. And that's when the manipulator strikes. He offers a saving solution. You grab onto it like a drowning man. Technique number 8, playing the savior. First, they create a problem, directly or indirectly. Then, they heroically solve it. The husband deliberately criticizes his wife's appearance. He says she is unattractive. He sows the seed of insecurity in her. She worries. She cries. And then he says, "But to me, you're still the most beautiful. I love you just the way you are." He becomes her only source of confidence, her savior. She becomes even more attached to him. She will be grateful. She will tolerate anything. He created a wound and offered a band-aid. Now she depends on his cure. How to protect yourself. Practical steps. Theory without practice is useless. Here's what to do right now. 1. Demand specifics. The manipulator speaks in generalities. Everyone does it. It's wrong. You have to understand. Your answer is, who exactly? What exactly is wrong? Explain specifically. Force him to switch to facts. Without facts, his words fall apart. 2. Look at actions, not words. The manipulator says one thing and does another. He promises support, but disappears in difficult times. He praises, but his eyes are empty. Stop listening to words. Look at actions. They're always more truthful. 3. Reconnect with yourself. The manipulator attacks your self-esteem. Your defense is to know your worth. Remind yourself of your strengths every day. Remind yourself of your victories. Praise yourself. Your confidence is a fortress. It will be difficult for the enemy to penetrate it. 4. Break the pattern. The manipulator is used to your reaction. He expects you to get scared, make excuses, shut up. Do the opposite. In response to pressure, smile. Say, "Thank you for your opinion," and change the subject. Your unconventional behavior will confuse him. He will lose the thread of control. The most powerful defense is indifference to the manipulator. His strength is in your reaction, in your fear, in your desire to please. Become impenetrable. Your calm is his defeat. Your clarity is his collapse. Your life is your territory, and no one has the right to control it. Choose yourself. Always. Everything that came before was theory, but there is an area where manipulation of fear becomes an art, where the line between truth and lies is erased. This is the area of the future. Technique number 9, programming the future. The manipulator does not simply play on current fears. He plants them in your future. He paints a picture of the world where without him you will fail. You can't cope without me. You will never find a better job. Only I truly understand you. These are not just words. This is an attitude which settles deep in the subconscious. You begin to believe in this picture. You yourself refuse opportunities because you are afraid that his forecast will come true. He becomes your guide in the dark future that he himself painted. You voluntarily give him the reins of power because he is the only savior in this apocalypse. Technique number 10, creating a cult of the problem. The manipulator makes the problem the center of the universe. Your universe. He constantly brings you back to it. He makes you think about it, talk about it, fear it. You stop seeing other goals, other joys. All your energy is spent on fighting this one problem, on its solution, which he offers. It's as if you are in a besieged fortress. The whole world has narrowed down to these walls, to hunger and fear, and to the one who distributes meager rations. You're a benefactor. He doesn't just manipulate you. He becomes your world. And you can no longer imagine life without this struggle. Without him, the result, the price of manipulation. Yes, you can get what you want using these techniques. You can make a person afraid. Submit. Do your will. But what do you really get? You get a slave, not a partner. You get fear, not respect. You get emptiness instead of trust. You win the battle, but you lose the war for human connection, for real power, which is built on reciprocity, not fear. Your victory is Pyrrhic. You are on a throne of bones, surrounded by those who hate you deep down, and are waiting for the moment for revenge. The final shield. How to burn manipulation to the ground. First, reclaim your right to time. Your speed is your law. No, decide now. Your phrase, "I will think and give you an answer." This disarms. You leave the field of pressure. You regain control. Second, change your optics. Stop reading other people's minds. Don't guess what he meant. Don't guess. Listen only to the facts. Only direct words. Everything else is not your problem, not your headache. Third, verbalize the blow. If you feel pressure, voice it calmly, without emotion. "I think you're manipulating me now. Is that true?" It's like a flashlight in the dark. The manipulator is caught off guard. His game is exposed. He will retreat. Fourth, accept the worst-case scenario. Ask yourself, what's the worst that will happen if his threat comes true? Really? Usually, this scenario is not so scary. When you look fear in the face, it loses its power. You breathe more evenly, and you see that there is always a way out. And it is not in serving the manipulator. The greatest power is not in controlling others. It is in total independence from someone else's opinion, someone else's assessment, someone else's lies. You are free, not because no one is trying to break you, but because you have learned to say no, to look fear in the eye, and to go your own way. Your life is your territory, your rules, your choice, and no dark psychologist will change that.